Welcome to this deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're really getting into something pretty critical, I think. How you actually cut through all the online noise when you're launching something new.
Yeah, it's a huge challenge making sure people notice.
Exactly. And not just notice, but get genuinely excited before the product even drops. We're talking about turning, social media scrolling into actual anticipation.
That's the plan. We're digging into some key ideas from a guide called How to Use Social Media to Build Hype Before Your Launch. Basically, it's a blueprint for creating buzz.
Making sure that on launch day, people are already lined up, metaphorically speaking.
And they're invested, emotionally connected, ready to jump in.
Which, let's be real, getting that initial audience, that first bit of social proof, it's tough.
It really is.
The guide even touches on this, suggesting that, if you're looking for a bit of a leg up, maybe boosting your social presence before you start these big hype campaigns.
Getting some groundwork done.
Yeah, resources like rapidboost.net are sometimes explored as a way to maybe get some initial followers so your amazing launch content doesn't just, disappear into the void.
Right, so you're speaking to an actual audience from day one of the hype phase. Makes sense.
Okay, so our mission here is to unpack the strategy behind all this. What are the key things that make a pre-launch campaign really sizzle?
Let's do it.
All right, so the guide calls social media a secret weapon for launches. What does that actually mean? Like, beyond just posting stuff online?
Well, I think the secret part is how it lets you change the whole dynamic.
Yeah.
Instead of just a big reveal on launch day.
Right.
You bring people along for the ride before that. You're not just announcing, you're building a story, a relationship leading up to it.
So it's less of a broadcast and more like an invitation?
Exactly. More of an invitation. The guide points out a few big wins here. First, you build real anticipation because people feel like they're getting an inside look.
Like they're in on the secret.
Precisely. And that creates emotional investment before they can even click buy. They're connected to the journey, the struggle, the breakthroughs.
That makes sense, getting them hooked on the process itself.
And secondly, it opens up this amazing channel for real-time feedback. You can see what resonates, answer questions, maybe even tweak things based on what you're hearing.
Wow, okay. So you could actually refine the product based on pre-launch buzz.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least refine the messaging. And all this interaction naturally fuels word of mouth. People who feel involved are way more likely to talk about it, share it.
Okay, that sounds way more effective than the old ta-da approach. But the guide says this isn't just random luck, it's a well-choreographed show. So how do you start planning that choreography?
It really boils down to two foundational things first. Absolute clarity on what you want the hype to do your goals, and clarity on who you're trying to hype up.
Okay, goals first. Like what specifically?
Are you aiming for email signups, pre-orders, just massive awareness? Getting super specific on what success looks like for this pre-launch phase is key.
Because the tactics for getting emails might be different than just going viral.
Totally different. And right alongside that is understanding your target audience deeply. Not just demographics, but their online life.
Yeah.
Where do they hang out? What kind of content actually grabs their attention? What gets them excited or curious?
You can't just spray and pray everywhere online, right?
Yeah.
The guide mentions choosing platforms wisely.
Yeah, definitely don't spread yourself too thin. Pick maybe 2 or 3 platforms where your core audience really lives and that fit the kind of story you need to tell.
So what are some examples?
The source gives a good breakdown. Like Instagram is obviously great for visuals, for storytelling, showing the process.
Behind the scenes stuff, maybe?
Perfect for that.
Yeah.
Then you've got TikTok, which is all about short, punchy teasers, creating that FOMO fear of missing out.
Right. Quick bursts of excitement.
Exactly. Twitter's good for real-time updates, Q&As, using hashtags to join conversations. LinkedIn, obviously, if you're B2B, positioning yourself as a thought leader.
And Facebook's still strong for building dedicated communities and groups or running specific launch events. The key is matching the platform to the audience and the goal.
Okay, makes sense. Goals, audience, platforms. Check. Now, the actual content timeline, the guide calls it a 3-act story, which I love.
Yeah, it's a great way to structure it. Act 1 is the tease. This is usually maybe 2 or 3 weeks before launch. Your main job here is just sparking curiosity.
How do you do that without giving everything away?
Minimal information. Think cryptic hints, blurred photos, blackout images, asking intriguing questions like, something big is coming. Use hashtags like #AreYouReady.
Just enough to make people wonder.
Exactly. Create that little information vacuum they want to fill. Then Act 2, at a week out, is the reveal. Now you start sharing more concrete stuff.
Okay, showing the what?
Yeah, key features, the benefits, how it works, maybe some use cases. You start satisfying that curiosity built, showing them why this thing matters to them.
Moving from mystery to value.
Got it.
And Act 3 is engage. This is the final sprint, the countdown. High-frequency content. Daily reminders, countdown graphics, lots of interactive stuff to keep the energy high.
Getting people ready to actually click on launch day?
You got it. And there's a smart tip in there about a content waterfall, too.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Basically, taking your core pieces of content, like a key video or announcement, and repurposing it across your chosen platforms, but tweaking the format for each one.
Ah, so like a snippet for TikTok, a longer cut for YouTube, a graphic for Instagram.
Exactly. Saves you reinventing the wheel, but still makes the content feel native to each platform.
Smart. Okay, so let's talk about the type of content that actually grabs attention. The guide mentions curiosity, relatability, and narrative.
Yeah, and mastering the art of the tease is central to that curiosity piece.
Restraint is key, you said.
Absolutely. Show, don't just tell, but only show a little bit. Blurred visuals, super close-up shots where you can't see the whole thing, silhouettes, use language like coming soon, get ready, and actively encourage guessing.
Make it a game.
Right. Ask followers, what do you think it is? Reward people who engage or guess correctly. It makes it interactive.
People love a puzzle. And then there's the relatability factor showing the real story and team. Authenticity seems huge.
It's non-negotiable now, really. People connect with people, so pull back the curtain, do live streams showing a day in the life at the company.
Let them see the chaos.
The chaos, the passion, the challenges, share video diaries from team members, post behind-the-scenes clips, maybe prototypes, testing fails, even bloopers. It makes the brand human.
Because launching something is a human effort, not just a corporate announcement.
Exactly. And tying into that is making the audience feel like they're actually part of this journey, not just spectators.
How do you do that effectively?
Use those interactive tools. Instagram stories are amazing for this. Question boxes asking for input, polls on feature preferences, sliders to gauge excitement.
Get their opinions.
Yes. Run Twitter polls, asking them to choose between options. Create a TikTok challenge related to the product's theme with a branded hashtag. It's not just market research. It makes them feel like co-creators.
Like insiders, yeah. Which flows right into using UGC and influencers. The guide calls them co-conspirators. Love that.
It's about amplifying your message through others, letting your fans and relevant voices tell the story with you.
So, user-generated content. How do you encourage that?
You actively invite it. Run contests, ask people to share photos or videos related to the problem your product solves, maybe offer early access as a prize.
Yeah.
Feature fan art or great questions you receive. Create and really promote a unique, memorable hashtag for people to use when they post about the upcoming launch.
So you're building a conversation around it.
Exactly. And micro-influencers play a key role here too.
Right, the guide highlights them specifically, not necessarily the megastars.
Often not, no. Micro-influencers, maybe with like 1,000 to 50,000 followers, tend to have really engaged niche audiences that trust their recommendations.
More authentic, maybe?
Generally seen as more authentic and relatable, yeah. The key is finding influencers whose audience overlaps significantly with your target audience.
So find the right fit. Then what?
Offer them genuine early access or a sneak peek. Let them form their own opinions and share honest content. Collaborate on stuff like live streams. Maybe they do a react video to your teaser or even take over your account for a day.
Cool ideas. And track their impact, obviously.
Definitely. Use unique links or promo codes so you can see what's working. And all this ties into building trust through early social proof.
Showing that other people are already excited.
Yes. It's basic psychology, but powerful. Tease your waitlist numbers. Over 1,000 people signed up already. Share screenshots of positive messages or early feedback. If you get any press mentions, highlight those.
Even going live for an unboxing.
Great example. An unboxing or a quick demo, answering questions live from viewers. That's real-time social proof and engagement combined.
Okay, fantastic. So we've built all this amazing hype, people are buzzing. How do we make sure it actually converts? This is the crucial step, right? Turning hype into action.
Absolutely. Now the focus shifts to urgency and clear calls to action. Countdowns are a classic tactic for a reason.
Ah, the FOMO engine.
Exactly. That fear of missing out is potent. So regular posts counting down the days. Only 3 days left. Use countdown stickers in stories or Facebook events, maybe even a live countdown on your website as launch time approaches.
Creates that clear deadline pressure, and then Giveaways and offers.
You got to reward the early birds and incentivize action. Run social media giveaways where people have to tag friends or join the wait list to enter. Offer a limited time discount just for people who sign up before launch day.
Or gamify it.
Yeah, the guide suggests unlocking certain details or bonuses when the community hits engagement milestones, like a certain number of shares or waitlist signups.
Nice. And creating VIP experiences seems like a smart way to reward the superfans.
Definitely. This builds incredible loyalty. Think about creating a private Facebook group or Discord server just for your most engaged followers.
What do they get in there?
Real insider access. Maybe they see sneak peeks before anyone else, get direct Q&A sessions with the founders, or get the very first chance to order. Even small things like personalized thank you notes to top contributors matter.
Making them feel truly special.
And when you highlight milestones from this VIP community publicly, it reinforces the idea that something cool is happening that others might want to join.
That brings us to the Glowco case study mentioned in the source. It sounds like they did a lot of this right.
Yeah, it's a really neat example. They started their hype campaign 6 weeks out.
6 weeks? Wow.
Kicked off with those vague, intriguing posts, pure tease phase. Then they transitioned into sharing their founder's story and some behind-the-scenes stuff to build that authentic connection.
Making it personal.
Right. And then they did this cool contest asking users for skincare confessionals, which not only generated tons of user content, but also helped them find beta testers who were genuinely interested in their product category. Super smart.
Wow, that's clever. Killing two birds with one stone.
Totally. Then they brought in micro-influencers for those authentic pre-launch reviews. And in the final week, they went hard with daily Instagram lives, featuring testimonials, answering questions, driving people to the waitlist.
And the results?
Pretty impressive. Over 4,000 on the waitlist, some reels went viral, and they nearly sold out within 48 hours of launching.
That's huge. And the guide attributes it to
Authenticity, building a real community, and just keeping that audience feeling close and involved the whole way through. It wasn't just marketing at them.
a perfect illustration. And the guide sums it up with that checklist, right? A quick recap.
Yeah, the 10 key steps, basically.
Yeah.
Know your goals, know your audience, and pick your platforms. Map out that tease reveal engage timeline. Master the art of the teaser content. Share your real story, the behind the scenes.
Get the audience involved, participating.
Activate those micro-influencers. Create irresistible offers, giveaways, VIP perks. Build tension with countdowns.
And showcase that social proof early and often.
That's the roadmap. Fundamentally, it's about mixing curiosity, real connection, community building, and a sense of urgency.
I like the source's analogy. Social media isn't just a megaphone,
Right, it's more like a campfire.
a campfire where people gather, they speculate, they get excited together. It's communal.
That shared energy is powerful. It
Yeah.
turns passive observers into active fans before you even ask for a sale. It's about orchestrating that collective anticipation.
And circling back to the start, having people at that campfire from the beginning is crucial. So, like the guide suggests, for anyone thinking about how to get that initial audience, ensuring your profile has some traction. Exploring options like rapidboost.net could be part of laying that groundwork.
Yeah, having that base makes all these other strategies land so much better. You're not starting from zero.
Absolutely. So here's a final thought to chew on. If this approach is really about building a movement and making your audience feel like insiders, how does that fundamentally change the relationship between a brand and its customers, maybe even long after the launch itself?
That's a great question. It definitely suggests a shift towards ongoing community, doesn't it?